My mother-in-law is a real freak and she can literally resurrect an imported man to have a strong erection to ride a woman like a horse who has been deprived of an intense lovemaking for so many years. Before I got married, I have heard of so many stories about how horrible some mother-in-laws could be. So when my husband eventually proposed, I had a mixed feeling about an institution called marriage. Though I love this man very much and I'd like to spend the rest of my life with him, I was a bit scared. Then he eventually invited me to meet his parents, and to be honest, I was so afraid because I didn't know what to expect, though he assured me that his parents were very nice people. But the mere thought of how horrible some mother-in-laws could be kept ringing in my head. So on one fine Sunday, we went to see his parents, and though they were very nice and welcoming, I was still scared about the mother-in-law drama. My husband was 30 years old when we got married, and I was 25 years old. When we got married, I was a virgin, so I knew very little about foreplay, orgasm, and different ways of making a man happy in bed. So, a few weeks to our wedding, I went ahead to read a lot about intimacy and lovemaking, and I also went ahead to watch quite a number of adult movies so that when we eventually get married, I'll be able to make my husband happy. Then, after marriage, I tried to practice some of the things that I have read about sex, intimacy, and lovemaking. But though my husband never complained about my bedroom skills, his body language communicated to me that he was not impressed about my bedroom skills. I asked him a few times if he was happy with our sex life, but the only answer he gave me was that he knew I was new with sex life, so with time I would get better. This got me worried a bit, so I went back to read much more about intimacy and lovemaking so that I could spice up our sex life. Then, 5 months into marriage, my mother-in-law called me one day and asked me to come and spend some time with her. I asked her if everything was okay, and she responded by saying yes, everything was okay. I just want my daughter-in-law to come and visit me and spend some time with me, she said. In fact, I was so afraid because my husband and I had been married for only 5 months, and so I don't want to start having mother-in-law drama or issues with her. A month later, my husband traveled for a business trip to the USA, so I took the opportunity to go and visit my mother-in-law, and that was when my sex life changed forever. When I arrived, she was full of smiles and she gave me a very warm reception. After dinner that night, she then told me the real reason for which she had wanted me to come and visit her. She started by asking me if I am enjoying sex life with my husband. In fact, I was ashamed by the question she asked, so I did not answer her. She went on to say that there was nothing to be ashamed of because since we are married, we need to enjoy each other's body as much as we could and perform bedroom duties as many times as we could. At this point, I wish I could tell her to change the subject, but she went on and on and on until she hit the nail right on the head. Then she said, "My daughter, I invited you here because I want to teach you about sex, lovemaking, intimacy, and everything you need to know to make your life more fun and enjoy your marriage as much as possible." And all I said was, "Huh?" You should have seen the look on my face upon hearing this, so I politely asked her why. Then she went on to say that she overheard her son over the phone discussing how he wished I knew much more about sex and lovemaking because our love life was so boring and our intimacy was equally boring because he married me as a virgin, so I knew very little about sex. I said nothing at this point, so she realized that I wasn't happy about what she had said. And so she went on to reassure me again that she meant no harm. Rather, she wanted me to enjoy my marriage life and have a fruitful home. So she began by asking me to calm down. On this note, I also eased on my anger towards my husband. And just like a curriculum, my mother-in-law schooled me properly about sex, foreplay, intimacy, and everything that I needed to know about sex in the bedroom. She began, my daughter, make it a habit to give your husband intense kiss when he least expected it. Don't always wait for him to kiss you first. Kiss his forehead, his nose, his cheeks, his neck, and gently kiss his ears. A lot of men experience intense sensation and immense feelings in and around their ears. While kissing his neck, speak softly into his ears. Tell him sweet things like, I love you. You are so sweet. You are my king. You are the sweetest thing that has ever happened to me. And all I want is you and you alone. Oh, my darling. All I want you to do to me now is to enter my honey pot. I want you to enter me deep, deep, deep and out. Your sweet punana is the best I know, and I wouldn't want to see any other. Then she continued, my daughter, at this point, he will be all hard and want to eat you already, but gently ask him to calm down because the best is yet to come. Now, gently and intensely look deep into his eyes and kiss them both. Bring his mouth close to your twin towers in front of you and allow him to suck them as much as he wants to. My daughter, at this point, both of you will be wet down there and will be so high and will be yearning to enter into each other's chamber. But relax. Don't allow him to enter your honey pot just yet. Now, get some cream and massage his entire body from his head to his toes. While you are doing this, get some sweet sensational music in the room if you can. Preferably a music that he would love. Again, at this point, he will be so much on fire and would like to eat you so hard. But ask him and whisper gently and sweetly into his ears and tell him, my king, relax. I want to take care of you tonight. Then turn him over and massage his nipples while you suck them gently with your lips and caress them with your oily fingers. And now proceed and move down to his punana and massage it gently with your oily hand. My daughter, at this particular point, he can't take it anymore. And trust me, he will literally beg you to allow him enter your honey pot. But hold on. Look into his eyes again. Give him a very sweet smile and allow each other to do 69. All this while, I listened attentively while this woman literally schooled me on lovemaking. Then I asked her gently, please, what is called 69? She quickly pulled her mobile phone out from her purse and showed me a video of a man and a woman in an action of 69. All I could say was, wow, that's quite intense. Then the lesson continued. She said, my dear, don't lose focus during the action of 69 because it can be really be intense. but concentrate on his punana while he works on your honeypot. Trust me, after just 1 minute of 69, the two of you can't take it any longer and your bodies will be on fire. And that is where you will climb him, give him a wild and a deep kiss, and ride him passionately. Allow him to touch your twin towers and groan and mourn while you are at it. Call him sweet names like my love, my king, I love you, you are the best. By this time, the two of you might have reached orgasm already and be partying. That is okay when you both get there. When you eventually get there, rest in his arms while you tell him how much you adore him and how much you enjoy his punana and how sweet he is. Then before you will realize, his punana will be up again, but this time bend down for a kangaroo style. He knows what he's supposed to do. And while he's at it, don't forget to enjoy it. Tell him how sweet he is and tell him how much you enjoy his punana. Well, my daughter, this will be all for today. We shall continue on the lessons of intimacy tomorrow. Then the following day, this woman took me through some more intimacy lessons. But this time, the intimacy lesson was on phone sex so that I could entertain my husband while he's still in the USA. Then the third day, she gave me more lessons and more lessons and more lessons. And by the time that I was ready to go back to my husband's house, I have learned so much about lovemaking and intimacy that I can literally write a whole book on it. Then after a month, my husband came from the trip and oh my God, I applied all the lessons that I learned from his own mother. He was shocked and asked me where and how I got to know so much within just a matter of being away. And I told him that his own mother was my teacher. From time to time, I still go to my mother-in-law for new styles and new ways of spicing up my marriage. And she's always ready to teach me much more. We have 3 beautiful children now, and our sex life is still fire, all thanks to my mother-in-law. And the funny thing now is that it is now my husband who has been running away from sex, and sometimes he complains that his mother has spoiled me because I now know too much about sex. Now, my purpose of writing this story is to encourage other women out there that they are still very good mother-in-laws who will love you and do anything to protect your marriage rather than destroying it. So if you are getting married this year, pray for a very good mother-in-law just like mine or much better than mine, because they are still very good women or they are still very good mother-in-laws out there. Wow, this is indeed an intense adult content right here. I had to cut out a lot of sensitive parts of this story so we can have quite an average adult lesson, because the original story is too wild to be put here. But if you want the original story, you can contact me and I'll send it to you. Well, that's just by the way. Well, what do you make of this wild yet intense adult story? Do you also have other sweet mother-in-law stories to share? If you do, kindly leave them in the comment section. And please don't forget to subscribe and watch my other videos. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. It's bye for now.